Yesterday, I came home and caught my fiancée in our bed with my closest friend. I stood there, stunned, holding takeout I'd brought to surprise her. Her reaction? She smirked and said, "You gonna cry about it?" I didn't give her the satisfaction. I simply smiled, turned around, and walked away. Today, my phone won't stop buzzing. Dozens of missed calls. My hands are shaking as I type this, not from sorrow but from seething fury. I'm Noah, 32, and until just a day ago, I was engaged to Kristen, 29. We'd been a couple for 3 years and had been engaged for half a year. Brian, my best friend since high school, 31, was supposed to stand beside me at the altar as my best man. That's not happening anymore. Looking back now, the signs were there. Subtle, but consistent. Kristen started going to the gym more often 4 months ago. Totally normal, except that Brian was her trainer. I trusted both of them. Huge mistake. She'd come home later and later, blaming it on meetings with clients. Her phone was always screened down. She'd get late-night texts, smile at the screen, but instantly lock it the moment I got close. Textbook red flags, right? But when I asked, she'd spin it on me. "Why are you so paranoid? Don't you trust me?" Yesterday, I was supposed to be out on a job site until evening. The meeting wrapped up early, so I picked up her favorite food and headed home, thinking I'd surprise her. The surprise was on me. Brian's truck was parked in our driveway. He was supposed to be at work. I froze, staring at his license plate, wishing it wasn't his. I let myself in quietly, heard noises from upstairs. Movies make it seem like everything slows down, but all I heard was them, and my pulse roaring in my ears. I pushed open the door. There they were. In the bed we chose together, in the place where we dreamed aloud of our future. She saw me first. No guilt, no panic, just a smug grin and a snide. "What, you gonna cry?" Brian started fumbling through some pathetic explanation. I cut him off. "Don't call me bro." My voice was calm, too calm. Kristen didn't say sorry. Instead, she wrapped herself in a sheet and said, "Well, say something already, get it out." I raised my phone, took some quick photos they scrambled to hide too late, and said, "Thanks for making my next move so easy." Then I left. As I walked out, she yelled after me, "That's it? You're just walking away, coward?" I turned around once, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "No, I'm just getting started. I spent the night at a motel. By this morning, I had 70 missed calls, Kristen and Brian both in a panic. She texted threats, then pleads, then threats again. Brian begged me not to tell his wife, Judith. I didn't reply. Instead, I made some calls. To the bank, to our families, and I went through the screenshots I'd quietly collected over the past few weeks. Messages from her phone synced to our shared iPad. Something she forgot she'd connected. Every lie, every tryst, every cruel joke at my expense. She's probably learning now that her cards don't work. I pulled my share from our joint accounts and opened new ones. Left her engagement ring on the kitchen table with a note. Hope it was worth it. Calls are still flooding in, but I'm not responding. They expected a meltdown. I'm giving them strategy. When I posted yesterday, I never expected it to go viral. Thanks for the support. A few clarifications. Yes, I told Judith. Sent her the full proof. No, I'm not just moving on like nothing happened. That morning, I was already in action. Bank accounts closed. Kristen removed from everything. The bank clerk even gave me a knowing smile. My sister went through this. Get everything you can. Around noon, Kristen showed up crying. Full act, begging me to understand. Then it flipped to anger. You're throwing everything away over one mistake. I let her ramble until I said, "You know what's wild? I came home early to surprise you. Had reservations. Plans. Then I walk into that." Her face went white when I mentioned the iPad. She accused me of invading her privacy. I laughed. Privacy? You mean like the privacy of our bedroom? The one I walked in on you desecrating? Then Brian showed up. He tried to defuse it, acting like we could talk man to man. I stared him down. 15 years of friendship. And this is what you do? There's nothing to talk about. He postured, tried to get in my face. Come on, hit me. But he backed down when I stood my ground. Meanwhile, I had something else brewing. Kristen had been using my credit card to pay Brian for those training sessions. I sent the receipts to Judith, along with the screenshots and the photos. Judith went full scorched earth. Within an hour, Brian's phone was exploding, friends dropping him, clients leaving his schedule. And that was just the beginning. Kristen tried damage control. "We can work through this," she claimed. She even called in her sister to convince me. But when I asked, "What exactly am I supposed to forgive? The sex? The lies? The months of betrayal?" They had nothing to say. That night I met with Judith. We compared everything, laughed, cried, grieved. But the more we learned, the angrier we got. And we weren't even close to done. Things have spiraled even more than I expected. Here's what happened next. Kristen's career was on the line. She'd been working on landing a high-value client and needed me to verify our shared financials. They called me to confirm. I told the truth, that I was no longer her fiancé, that I couldn't recommend her, that while I couldn't comment on her business practices, I couldn't trust her ethics. The clients dropped her. That night, she showed up again, this time recording me on her phone, trying to bait me into losing my cool. "You ruined my career," she screamed. I said calmly, "You did that on your own." When she started tossing patio furniture, I called the police. She got a warning for disturbing the peace, but the real storm was brewing elsewhere. Judith decided it was time the world knew. She waited until Brian was training at the gym and walked in with a protein shake, which she dumped on him. Then she read their explicit texts aloud in front of all his clients. That video spread like wildfire online. Brian's clients vanished. His social media took a nosedive. No one wants a fitness coach with that kind of reputation. Kristen tried spinning a sob story online. Love is messy. People make mistakes. Cue the violin. I responded by editing a clip of her engagement party speech, where she praised me for being the most faithful man she'd ever known, with side-by-side shots of her messages mocking me. When she called crying again, I asked, "What? You gonna cry?" And hung up Brian's couch surfing. Kristen's business is on the verge of collapse. And me? I'm just watching from a distance. I still have more receipts. But watching them unravel on their own is more satisfying than anything I could plan. This will be my last post. Here's how it ends. Remember that smug line? "You gonna cry?" That stuck with me. So I made it my mission to make sure they felt every consequence. Our neighbor had a security cam facing our driveway. Kristen had brought Brian over dozens of times while I was out. I compiled it all. Dates, times, messages. Then I waited. Kristen had one final chance to salvage her job, a major pitch. The couple she was trying to sell to? Turns out they're friends with my cousin. I had a quiet word with him, shared everything. The couple backed out of the deal. News traveled, fast. Kristen's calendar started emptying. Apparently, clients don't want to work with someone who sleeps with their client's fiancée. Brian didn't fare much better. Judith gave him the boot, tossed his stuff outside, and started divorce proceedings. She works at the same gym. Let's just say the staff and clients chose her side. They started turning on each other. Kristen blamed Brian. Brian blamed her. Their relationship, if you can call it that, began to implode. Last night I ran into them at a bar. Kristen had the gall to walk up to me. "You destroyed our lives because you couldn't handle the truth." I smiled. "Handle it? I'm thriving." Brian tried to step in. I reminded him the gym might be letting him go. He lunged. I stepped aside. He ended up on the ground, bloody nose. Bartender had seen the whole thing. Didn't even kick me out. Filed a report, just in case. Today, Kristen was called into her broker's office. Her behavior and the lost sale have raised concerns. She's now under review. Brian's client list is empty. Their fling has lost its shine. Meanwhile, I've met someone new, Aspen. We're taking it slow. She knows everything, and she respects how I handled it. The key to revenge isn't chaos or rage. It's control. It's letting the truth shine through and letting people suffer the fallout of their own decisions. They thought I was weak for walking away. Turns out, that was the strongest move I could have made. Yes, everything I did was above board. I didn't lie. Didn't hack anything. I just told the truth to the right people at the right moments. Judith and I still talk. She's doing great. Brian's still on his buddy's couch. Kristen? No clue. I'm too busy building a new, better life to care. Sometimes the end of something you thought would last forever is just the start of something far better. And no, I'm not crying. I'm smiling. Thank you for watching Story. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more real-life stories.